We're going to call this meeting of the Clark County Board of Education to order. If you would, please stand for a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Review of the agenda. I'd like to table number 4 until the regular meeting. I just spoke with Ms. Bush on the phone, and she asked that we table it.
Okay.
Why is that? I mean,
Well, she didn't really want any compensation at all, and I told her.
number 4, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I was reading the wrong one.
Sorry.
Need to put my glasses on, sorry. Okay, gotcha.
And I just told her we would table it and
Okay,
to come back around. Is that cool with everybody?
Yep.
Works for me.
yep. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, I was reading wrong.
I was like, how do I say this?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda, tabling item number 4.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Any public comment? No. Okay, no public comment. Student support services. Item number 3, consider approval of recruitment and retention package for transportation department for the 22-23 school year.
Mr. Stone and I are going to present together, but he's going to stay seated for a little bit.
Okay.
So we are in a critical shortage, just like everybody else is in the transportation department. We're down a few mechanics and definitely some bus drivers. So we put together this plan. This is a collaborative effort between Mr. Stunt, myself, Ms. Ellis, and Dr. Thomas. First up in the retention part, we wanted to offer a proposal level up plan where so certified staff have had a chance to level up by increasing educational credentials, where we want to give the same opportunities to our classified employees. Secondly is a $1,200 annual retainer, and so every 3 months they would get a $300 bonus if they completed 98% of their contract. And this would be something where the transportation supervisor would meet with employees quarterly and determine that. Third is a $500 re-signing bonus. So the employees that came back, they would get like a re-signing bonus of $500. We're going to start these quarterly satisfaction surveys and these little community deals and stills where employees get benefits and discounts from community businesses. The recruiting section, recruiting for first-time sign-on, $500 recruiting. Transferring classified credit, so if a classified employee moved from custodial or maintenance to transportation, they'd get to keep their service credit years, as long as there's not a break-in service. And then the referral part is any employee would get a $500 referral for any new transportation employee that completed 60 days of work with us. And then the last 2 pieces are a district-wide PBIS plan where we'd like to put a transportation committee together to work on positive behavioral supports and also align consequences with principals, staff, and parents. And then lastly, we offered and a gentleman accepted the transportation supervisor's position today. So this gentleman is on board, and Mr. Stump was able to join us today for that as well. And he is very familiar with efficient coordinating and routing, as he is the number 2 for Fayette County Public Schools. So he is leaving 12 years of experience there to come over to lead Clark County. So we're pretty excited about that.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Great.
Yep.
Good news.
May I offer a brief status quo on our transportation department to kind of give you a sense of the urgency? Over the summer months, we've lost 8 drivers. We've advertised those positions for months now. We have 0 applications. We have 2 of our bus mechanics have resigned. One left us July 30th. The other one is scheduled to leave us August 1st, is that correct?
It's mid-August, yep.
Right. And we have one that had pretty serious surgery that's out for 8 weeks. It got us down to one mechanic. We posted those jobs now for almost a month. We have 0 applications. So we've talked about starting school and what plans we might initiate at the beginning of school year in the event that we can't fill these vacancies and our bus drivers. Of course, a CDL license takes 6 to 8 weeks to attain. We have to have a CDL license for a person to drive a bus. So in a best case scenario, if we hired a bunch of people today, it still would be well into the school year before we could have bus drivers available to drive the vacant buses that we have at this point. So we'll be working with our new interim superintendent on advising strategies for beginning the school year to make up for these 8 vacant buses, possibly delaying preschool transportation for a while, because that's a non-mandatory service to preschoolers, and we don't get funded for preschool transportation. We have 5 drivers and 5 buses that transport our preschoolers. Of those 8 vacancies, 2 of those are preschool vacancies. We have 3 full-time substitute bus drivers. So if we're looking at a scenario in which we had nobody absent the first few days of school, we would have 3 subs to fill 3 of those 8 positions. We have 1 person that is in training that we're hoping to get certified here real soon. But one of the contingencies for the mechanic to come back, one of our mechanics is interested in possibly coming back if we assure him that he doesn't have to drive a bus. And that's a difficult one to assure. You know, when you're in crisis, you have to find strategies to get kids to school. But he's working 14, 16, 18-hour days. He just doesn't want to do that. And he, you know, it puts, as he claims, it puts our students in jeopardy because of having to hurry through mechanical issues with our buses. Each of our buses have to be recertified every 20 days. So, and you have to have a certification from the Kentucky Department of Education to certify buses. We can't just go to a mechanic's place out here, throw a red diesel and get our buses worked on because they're not certified by the state for the inspections. We'd have to have somebody standing right there when they put brakes on it or something to certify that. So what really concerned me was us being down to 1 mechanic that's certified to certify our buses. I think we'll be fine starting school off, but 20 more days, we have to have certifications on our buses again. I'm really concerned about not being able to do those in an efficient and timely manner. We've also talked about the strategies that we talked about last year, similar to what Fayette County did last year, and that's canceling routes across the district through rotations. If we don't have enough drivers, then we can cancel a route over here, we rotate it to a different route, and try to be as equitable as we can when we cancel our transportation for our students, which is not a good scenario, but unfortunately, I think we're at a point where we need to have these conversations in preparation for absent drivers. At any given day, last year and years before, we have 4, 5, 6 bus drivers out on a given day. So I'm very concerned about starting school off with these vacancies not having any applicants for our bus driving positions. We're starting our drivers off at $14 an hour. Our mechanics are in the $16 range. That's basically why we're not getting applications. It's because you go to throw a red diesel over here and make $35 an hour working on diesel engines. So, you know, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm really concerned about the start of school, and I'm happy to talk with our superintendent and with our board about strategies, but I think we're going to have to start looking at plan A, Bs.
When does the new transportation director start?
He had to give a 2 weeks notice, so July 25th will be his first day with us.
And he does have a CDO, by the way.
And my understanding is KDE requires 1 mechanic for every 20 buses, is that correct? So.
That's the recommended
That's the
ratio.
best case scenario.
Best case scenario, it's not a fast rule, it's just a
It's
recommendation.
the best practice, yeah.
Is the new transportation director available to consult on ideas before the 2 weeks?
He even gave some today in his interview, so
Okay.
I'm
That's
sure he
good.
would be excited to meet with everyone.
So as encouraging as I am about this plan, I don't know that it'll address our immediate need for drivers. You know, it'll incentivize attendance, which is what we need. We don't need people to be absent. but we still have no applications. I don't think this plan's gonna, well, other than the $500 recruitment bonus, that referral bonus.
And we're hoping that
So,
our retained employees will benefit from the $500 referral. So you've got the sign-on and the referral.
Well, let's tackle this and get with Dr. Thomas and the new transportation director and come up with some other plans of action to tackle it.
Is this comparable with what other districts are offering?
No, I mean, Fayette County offers $30.
No, I'm just saying in there, because
The referral.
everybody is struggling with bus drivers, and so
That is
I've
true.
noticed on other district websites that they have, so if this isn't comparable,
Is this competitive?
yes, if it's not competitive, we're not gonna get applications, because they're gonna apply in other districts.
You're exactly right. I was at a conference here about a month ago, and a bunch of directors in a room, and we had a brainstorming event, and one of the counties, I'm gonna say it was Floyd, gave the bus drivers a $2 an hour raise, and it didn't have any impact at all. But it is a pay issue, and if you
Right.
pay up $30 an hour, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But $2 for them wasn't enough.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna piggyback on Ms. Considante's question, though. We're not really talking about the hourly rate. We're talking about the retention and everything.
And
refer-
recruitment, trying to get
That's
someone
correct.
So is this
competitive.
competitive as far as other recruitment and other
One-time
referrals out there?
incentives.
It is just a one-time deal, but some other districts are paying more, but they're cutting back hours. So we could
Okay.
offer more per hour, but they don't guarantee the
Right, the
30
6,
hours.
right.
Mhm, like we do.
Yeah, and I've been, and I'll jump in here as well. I've been around 2 or 3 districts this past year, and obviously it's the case everyone's having trouble getting drivers, keeping drivers. But I really like our retained recruitment refer plan. It is both creative and also just gives that incentive to get new employees and also to keep them, and that attendance. And as Mr. Stump will quickly tell you, attendance is the biggest issue that we deal with our drivers, because the reason that our mechanics are driving is because we're 6 or 7 drivers each day, taking a day off, and they have those days. But I think it's a great plan. I think that it's something to begin with, and we're hopeful, everyone's hopeful that now that we're on this side of COVID, and we hope to stay that way, that as much as possible can we get back to normal and start seeing some of our drivers want to be a part of this, continue to be a part of this. And then also the other hard decision that I think will come, just referencing what was said with the new transportation director, separate from the retained recruit and refer plan, would be the transportation director that we have is very experienced in looking at routes. And those are those hard discussions where you're going to have, do we combine routes? What time are we dropping off? Can we, we've got some that are arriving very early at RDC right now. So what does that look like if we have to collectively pick up a group from an area in the county and bring them in as far as supervision and so forth? So a good plan that we have here. I'm excited about the possibility of really looking at a program that is going to route out for us so that we can be the most efficient. That might save us a route or two. Again, that comes with a little pain. I was talking to Ms. Considine earlier this week. If you choose to live in Ford, Kentucky, you're making the decision that you're going to live a little farther out, and that may be a little pain that, hey, we may be combining a couple of routes there moving forward as opposed to the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 that are running through there now.
I have just a couple of questions on the referral program. That's open to any employee in the district?
It is, yes.
Okay. And how are they to submit the referrals? Are we going to put something on the website too? And,
Generally, whoever makes the recommend to hire lets us know, because we do this for other positions as well. We do
Okay.
it for math and science.
Okay.
I think you have to do it 60 days before.
It is, it's 60 days before.
And then the referrals paid.
Yeah, so if every employee, because we have about 90 transportation employees, if every employee took advantage of it and we hired up to 10 new employees, it'd be a little over $200,000 that the transportation department could see. That was a pretty good incentive.
Any more questions? Somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the recruitment retention package for the transportation department for the 22-23 school year.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
4 is tabled. Number 5, consider approval of Chief Academic Officer, Assistant Superintendent job description.
So basically, I just took the old job description that we had and updated the qualifications because the old job description that we had, it really kind of pigeonholed the applicants that we were able to receive. So the qualifications now call for a valid Kentucky Superintendent certification, and the rest of it was really just formatting. So cleaning it up, for the sake of brevity, just getting rid of a lot of antiquated verbiage and broad. Now it's only front and back instead of 4 pages long.
Any questions? Or discussion? Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Chief Academic Officer, Assistant Superintendent job description.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6, consider approval of interim superintendent contract.
We'll have a chance to look at that. I sent the revised copy today. I think Dr. Thomas would like to work up to 5 days a week, be paid a daily rate through the end of the semester until a permanent superintendent's hired, and then after that, have the option to work 2 to 3 days a week into the spring semester. So this agreement will cover that. Any questions or concerns?
I didn't see it today.
It came
It's
in
on
about
email.
5.
Okay.
I have a copy.
Do you want a paper copy?
I love paper.
There we go.
Trees, trees,
Trees,
trees.
trees, trees.
Do you need to look over it before we?
No, the dates are good.
Yeah, I changed the dates. There's a couple changes after I sent it to Dr. Thomas for his review. We added the up to 3 days a week after
That's,
superintendent's
yeah, I
hired,
was gonna
and
say that's new.
then some language in there to acknowledge that he does some teaching when I joined the district.
Continue that.
Good. Any more discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the interim superintendent contract.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. We're adjourned at 6:50. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to sign it?
Are you on a cane?